Hello, I'm Alexis. This is probably going to be one of my favorite videos so far. Every video is my favorite video. I am a big fan of never shutting up and talking about things that help you grow and in relation to your brain. Big fan of mine. I am back an entire year later from when I started to do this. I am really upset with myself that didn't keep doing it, but I made the mistake of getting discouraged by the number of views rather than the content of what my videos were about, which was the entire point, was trying to hit at least 2 people in the entire world that liked what I had to say, which was the whole point, whether I get 10 views or 100. I'm back. I apologize ahead of time. I have 2 dogs. Sometimes they don't listen. This is one. This is Paisley. But anyways, my video today is about how to be alone. And I think it's the perfect time, especially with it being COVID. And quarantine and the year that we have gone through, a lot of people have been alone, and that has been awful. It is really scary to be alone with yourself, and be alone in general and deal with things that you've never had to deal with and emotions that you have rejected to feel and pushed away to feel for a very long time. And this is the year that we realize why we need mental health funding. But also it's just really important to understand the basics, whether you are single or in a relationship or married or whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, everybody needs to know how to be alone. Because even in a future video, I can't wait to talk about this, but in relationships and in marriages, you have to be an individual before you are in a partnership or in a marriage or whatever you want to call it. So learning how to be alone is really important. It's scary. It is awful. It's sad, and it's beautiful in every aspect. And it is definitely by far one of the best things I've ever learned how to do, but a lot of days I also worry that it's a curse. But it was one of the hardest lessons because it defies every new societal norm that we have, especially in the newer age of social media, because it's almost impossible to be alone when you have tens of thousands of people at your fingertips. But it was definitely one of the most, I don't know the word right now, but one of the most beneficial experiences that I've ever had, because I learned so much about myself, about the world, about what I want, about what I feel, about what I think. And it's really not as hard as we think. It's hard in the way that it makes you very vulnerable. Vulnerability is one of the key aspects of growth, in my own opinion. It takes a certain level of vulnerability to grow, because you have to get past that fear of being vulnerable with others or with yourself to get to that level of growth. And I really think that being vulnerable with yourself is much harder than being vulnerable with other people. It's really scary to look yourself in the mirror and see who you actually are. But it can be gratifying, it can be emotional, life-changing, and really all you have to do is to learn how to be alone. You have to be alone. I know that sounds really lame, but it's true. And one of the best things that I did to be alone with myself in a world that is so lonely but not not full of people, is deleting social media. I've done it multiple times. I do it every time I need a cleanse from the world, from myself, from my thoughts, from bad habits. You disappear a little bit from everything. Social media, our phones are everything. So when you when you take a break from that aspect of your life, you have to find things to fill all this time, because we spend so much time on social media. And if you even try to take a break from the TV and really try to figure out what your brain is thinking, what you're feeling yourself, you find so much space for all these things. I have read 7 books in the past year and a half. I think, honestly, I swear to God, that may be more than I've ever read in my entire life. And they're all about things that scare me, things that I want to learn, things I want to be better at, things that will benefit me mentally, physically, anything. And it's been great. So when I take my cleanses, I sit with myself and I'm like, okay, here's Alexis. And I don't like her right now. And I'm really scared what she's going to bring to the table, but I'm going to face her. And I read these books and I feel that tightness in my chest and I get teary-eyed because, wow, that's something that I need to fix. That's something I need to acknowledge, something I need to do. And then I write about it. Writing is very therapeutic. It's very cathartic. It's very good for the mind. It's good for self-reflection, not right after writing, but even days, weeks, months, years after. Very good for you. So I do that quite frequently. And when you're off of social media, you are not at convenience. So the people that very much love you and very much want to talk to you have to make an effort to talk to you, because you're not one Snapchat away. You're not a Facebook like away. You're not a Facebook Messenger away. You have to be contacted at your phone number, which sounds so easy, but it's actually, it takes my bestest of friends days, if not a week, to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, you're not on Snapchat or Snapstreak's gone. But I mean, people are not fazed by it anymore because I do it all the time, but it makes you really realize in a 24-hour period, you are with yourself. And if you don't like that person that you're with for 24 hours alone, you have some stuff to do. And what you do is you really have to just figure out, like, what is going on internally? What do I need? You need to start every single day asking yourself what you need. Not what your kids need, not what your friends need, not what your job needs, not anything, not your to-do list of your laundry and your dishes and the food you need to make. What do you need today? Are you feeling a little bit more fatigued or exhausted today? Do you need a little bit more self-love to get yourself through the day? Do you need people? Do you need comfort? Do you need to call somebody to say, hey, I really just need someone today? And guess what? That's okay. That is awareness. That's knowing what you need and the means to ask for it. And the means to ask for it is that vulnerability piece, because it is so hard to ask for help, even in the smallest ways. Like, hey, I'm lonely. I just need someone to come sit and watch a movie with me. That is hard because it makes us seem weak, but vulnerability is not weakness, because it is far easier to not be vulnerable than it is to be vulnerable. And so that vulnerability is your strength. That is your peace to your freedom, and like letting go of that burden of thinking you have to do it all on yourself. And so even though this is about learning how to be alone mentally, you don't have to do it all alone. So that's like a little plot twist for you. Other key aspects to being alone is you really have to tune in And you have to face all your demons. So not tackle them all at once, because that would be hard and awful. But you have to really just look at yourself and say, okay, who do I want to be? And what am I doing to be that person? And what do I need to be doing? What aspects of my personality are holding me back from my potential? Am I really being the best friend that I can be, the best girlfriend I can be, the best daughter, sister, anything? Am I being that best person that I can be? And if the answer is no, then there's something that you need to do or change in yourself. And what that means is rewiring your brain, looking at the thoughts that you think every single day. What are you eating? What are you drinking? What's consuming your time? If it's Facebook 10 hours a day, then I'm guessing you're depressed, because Facebook is depressing. And if you really just don't even know yourself, a lot of people just don't know themselves. You know that facade or that fake person that you put out on social media, that really cool person that gets all the likes, but desperately you're crying for help because you don't know who you are and you're just not happy. That's not okay. And all it takes is literally sitting yourself down, looking yourself in the face and saying, okay, what do I need? For me, I need that space. I need to take that time, get away from social media. I need to reflect. I need to learn new ideas from inspirational people on YouTube. I watch amazing pastors on YouTube. I watch the Red Table Talk crazy amounts. Will Smith, crazy amounts. I read all these books on self-help, and that's what I need. I know what I need because I've spent years with myself, because at the end of the day, I'm the only person here. And so that it's hard and it's scary, and usually the first couple of weeks you do it are really sad because you don't know what to do when you're alone. But eventually you get more used to it and you're like, okay, I'm feeling this way. I know what I need to do. Okay, I know that I've really been slacking on this and I'm making excuses, and I know I always do this. But what I really need is some motivation. What I really need is I need to find a new way to learn this, especially during COVID. Everyone lost motivation for everything because you're locked in this crap show this entire year, and it's been daunting on anybody, even mentally stable people. It's been awful. And you have to have the best relationship with yourself possible, because it's the only thing that's going to get you through anything. And that amazing relationship with yourself and your brain, knowing how you are wired, helps you to know your responses to things. And if you respond poorly, you'll know why. You have to go back to the basics. Why do I act the way that I act? Why do I talk the way that I act? Why do I feel this way? Is it because in 8th grade that boy really hurt my feelings? Is it because my parents were a certain way to me when I was a kid? Is it because I didn't have parents? You have to go back and learn yourself and really study yourself as this magical creature and figure out why your brain decided to be wired the way that it was. And then, once you know, fix the things you don't like, accept the things that might not change, know your flaws, love yourself, and then go from there. And then when you are an individual, perfectly within peace of yourself, you have much more to add to the world than being this broken, fragmented person that doesn't really know what they're doing, running around the world just bumping into everyone and making all this mess. And that's what a lot of us do for many, many years. I know people, adults, that just do it because it's scary to face your own brain. It is terrifying, but it is the best thing that you could ever give to yourself and to other people. Because when you learn that thing about yourself, when you love yourself, when you learn yourself, when you just have this peace, you offer 10,000 times more things to the world. You're a better friend because you respond different. You're not emotional, you're not dramatic, you're not hurtful. You're a good friend. You're a better daughter, you're a better sister, you're a better everything because you're just you. You love better. You're a better partner in a relationship because you're an individual. You don't seek all these things from everything else in the outside world because you have it inside. You have to be an individual before you're part of anything else. And that is the key to making any other type of relationship work. And it just makes you feel better. You're just happy. Like, don't you just want to be happy? Everybody wants to be happy, I know that. But the key is being alone. And that strays very far from societal norms. You're supposed to be in relationship goals and being cute on Instagram and doing all this stuff. But guess what? You have to heal what's up here first. Good luck.